So, this week, we are focused on the law of relativity. And the Metaphysical Bible says, this book is written by a man named Renford. He was not part of the Unity movement, still isn't. However, he fully agrees with all of the Unity principles, and that's why I so enjoy him. But he says that the law of relativity is the principle that all are connected to all. Whether space, matter, or spirit, all are connected. One cannot draw a line in the sand and say that one human is not connected to other humans, animals, plants, or elements. It is important to understand that our thinking and our actions affect our lives, and our lives affect many others. So, I called the talk today, "The Dots Are Already Connected." We've been busy trying to connect the dots, and that's where we have been coming up short. The dots are already connected. This is about divine order. And there is an order to everything. Just because I can't see that order doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Now, my lovely assistant. You'll notice my tie, and I didn't think about this until after I put the tie on, but there's all these little swirly lines here, and they're connected to all these little flowers and these little dots. But they're all connected. There's not a place where one ends and another begins. It's all connected. And we are all connected. I spent this past 10 days out at Unity Village. And quite frankly, I needed it. I spent the time with other Unity students. It was part of the field licensing program. And that's how I was ordained 2 years ago. And now I'm a mentor in the program. And last year I took on a mentee from Albuquerque. And this year, while I did not expect to take on a new mentee, I did. As I say, this was an unplanned child, but not unwanted. It just, sometimes Spirit speaks. And you know you're the right one to serve, but he will serve me as well. And then by serving me, he will serve this whole community. There's much to be discovered in our relationships if we look for what's true, if we look for what's real, as opposed to what is not real. And I've been a little depleted in the past several months. You know, we've had lots of stuff come up here. I've had lots of stuff come up in my personal life, financial stuff and emotional stuff. And so I went to Unity Village and I talked with other ministers about metaphysics. And it was nice because I got to remember the truth. I got to be reminded of the truth. And Lisa and I were chatting the other day about stuff, and I said, "Lisa, do you think," you don't know Lisa's our board president, "do you think that," well, in fact, I didn't say do you think, I said, "Will you, and will I, in our organizational life and our personal life, seek to bend to the law, rather than trying to get the law to bend to us?" Because you see, we as a board of trustees, we want, you've elected all the leaders, you hired me, we want to do it with integrity, rather than trying to squeak around, to try to profit, to try to have something outside of our consciousness. But it's something I've discovered with so many of us, and me included. I'm trying to get stuff without having the consciousness to have it. Anybody here like that? Would you like to have $1 million and you don't care whether you have the consciousness for it or not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And therein lies our problem. And therein lies our misery.
Oh, yeah.
Therein lies our suffering. Therein lies our godlessness. Our unwillingness to see God as God is, to celebrate God as God is, to celebrate that the dots are already connected and there is a perfect way to manifest a perfect life without surrendering anything. Except what doesn't work for us anymore. I don't know what you call it. It's not an anagram. What is it when you take a word and you break it down into like 4 words? You take the letters.
Acronym.
What?
Acronym.
Acronym, thank you.
Welcome.
An acronym for Lent, somebody said, was let's eliminate negative thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's eliminate negative thinking. Well, to do that, one must think positively. If I'm going to, because otherwise there's just going to be a hole there. And we know about nature and the vacuum and stuff. And so we've got to fill it up with something else, positive thinking. With truth. With hope. With conviction. We've got to focus on that. Yesterday I changed out some flowers in the house and some arrangements because they've been sitting there a long time and they were pretty dusty. And I bought some eucalyptus. And I got home last night and I thought, geez, I was feeling like I had allergy stuff going on. And I thought, okay, what's up here? I felt like star lilies were in the house. And I was itchy and I thought, okay, we'll see what's happening here. I'm breathing funny. And I turned out the light and I laid there to pray. And it occurred to me to say, allergies don't exist. They don't exist because I'm master of my body. I am not a slave to the physical universe. And all sensations like that stuff go away. All those sensations of breathing and itchiness just disappeared. I am master of my body, not the other way around. I am master of the physical universe, not the other way around. I am not a slave to the physical world. I never have been. And I never will be in reality. Jesus said, pick up your pallet and walk. He didn't say, wait till somebody comes and helps you. He didn't say, oh, you poor thing. Oh, you poor thing, you. Jeez, we'll pray for you. So pick up your pallet and walk. Because what that implies is you are the master. You are the master of your body. You're not a slave to getting down to the fountain, to the magic fountain, where the water's going to be swirled up by the angel, and your servant will throw you in, and you'll be all healed. No, pick up your pallet and walk. Realize the power within you. The woman touching his garment. It is your faith that has made you whole. So here's the deal. Last night I proved with a single thought I was not allergic to eucalyptus. All bodily sensations rectified themselves when I remembered. I didn't decide that I'm master of my body. There's no decision to be made. It's just the truth. I am. All is created by my thoughts. I'm not punished by them. I'm not rewarded for them. I live in the results of them. Now, I went out to dinner last night with Lisa, and we had a very metaphysical talk as well. And we talked about our core being, how did you phrase it about joy? You remember? Our core, the core thing is to celebrate joy or to accept joy. You remember?
Be in a high joy vibration.
In a high,
That is the kingdom.
yeah, the kingdom is to be in a high joy vibration. Thank you. And so to have these kind of discussions, we didn't talk about the price of gas. We didn't talk about who's offending us. We didn't talk about that. In fact, what we did talk about was it's okay for us to talk about how we feel in regards to offenses, but we can no longer say with confidence, someone did this and this is what it means. Someone did this to me. We can't say that with confidence anymore because it's not true. Nobody did anything to me. They did this and this is what I thought about it. Therein lies the truth. Pick up your pallet and walk. It is your faith that makes you whole, and it is your faith that makes you miserable. The dots are connected, and it starts with a thought. All is relative according to my thinking. And if I think that there is lack, what do I expect to experience? I said a few weeks ago, A few years ago, David and I said it a few weeks ago, but a few years ago, David and I had a lot more money than we have now. Lots and lots more money than we have now. And David was afraid every day about money back then, when we had so much more. We don't have as much now. And we're not afraid of money right now. What happened? We changed our thoughts. Money is not the cause of our good. Money is not the source. And don't get me wrong, I'd like to have a pile more of it. But I'm not afraid. I'm not less than I am. Because I don't see more in the bank. What happened? We changed our thoughts. And the dots connected. Because I wanted to live in peace. I wanted my joy. I would rather be aware of the presence of God, active and at work in every cell and fiber of my being, and every cell and fiber of your being. I heard something else the other day, and this kind of impressed me. When I realized, some teacher said that we are all God. And that can throw some people. It can throw the Christians when you say, I am God. It's like, what? No, God is God and I'm the lowly servant. No. Jesus didn't teach that I am the servant of God. Jesus taught that God is in me. That's why you don't call me the ego good. You don't call my personality good. You call what is the I am of me good. And so it occurred to me to say, thank you, God, to everybody. People I like and the people I don't. And the ones I don't like, let's remember, are the ones who aren't doing it my way. Everybody else is fine, or I'm indifferent to, but to say thank you, God, to you who I adore. But to also say thank you, God, to the cranky grocery store clerk, and to the bank teller, and to the people in traffic, because as God is for me, nothing is against me. When I remember the first time I heard that, man, that was what a relief. What a relief. Coming from a victim consciousness to find out that, nothing is against me? Well, if nothing is against me, that has to mean then everything is for me. That is the logical conclusion. So the stuff I like is for me, and the stuff I don't like is for me. But what would it be for? Just to have a better physical life? Just to have a new car? Just to have a relationship? To have some cash in the bank? No, it couldn't be that. It must be to have the assurance of God, the conviction of that which I have not yet seen, but that it is real, that the invisible world is real. Wouldn't you like to know all the time that that which you cannot see is plentiful and is just this close to being available to you, and it will only take a thought to bring it out of the ethers. And so, if it is not possible for anything bad to actually happen, because if God is for me, nothing could be against me. If God is for me, are we clear on this now? If God is for me. I remember once I was rollerblading down along the Hudson River, next to it, not on it. I haven't reached that state yet. But I had this vision that as God is for me, nothing is against me. Therefore, everyone is for me, everything. And I imagine people lined up all the way up the Hudson, just in line to give me my good. I had nothing but friends in the world. I didn't know their personalities. They're just all lined up to give me my good in one form or another, and it wasn't mine to judge how they would give it to me. But it's awfully hard for someone to be unkind to you when you're calling them God. When you're affirming the Christ in them, it's really difficult for somebody to kick you in the shins. It's really difficult for anyone to hold out on you. A friend of mine was telling me the other day at Unity Village that he went to open up a bank account. He was very excited because this was the oldest bank in town, and he's had a lot of financial issues, and he had money to put in the bank, and he went there and they wouldn't open it because of his credit rating. And he was embarrassed, but he got it. And he and the clerk had this exchange, and he was surprised. He didn't know you couldn't open up a bank account. And so he went home, and he got a call from that bank teller. And she apologized, and he said, no, I don't apologize to you. I feel like I wasn't polite to you. And she said, just feel terrible about this. And also, you left your driver's license here. But, you know, the way I talked to you, and you were so sincere, I went and talked to somebody, and we're going to open up this kind of bank account for you. And in 6 months, if everything works, we'll open up the kind you've asked for. So you see, it doesn't always happen according to our timeline, but things can happen and things can shift, and people want to help us. People really want to help us. In restaurants, 9 times out of 10, a waiter really wants to give you what you want, even if it's not on the menu. Now, I got another lesson in how the dots are all connected. It was progress interviews, and there's this one ministerial candidate who's talking about why she entered FLP rather than the MEP program, which is where you go to Unity Village and live for 3 years to go through their program. I wasn't going to do that myself. But she listened to the voice within her to do certain things. And when she heard certain stuff, she decided to go ahead and become a licensed Unity teacher. And her minister said, great, then you don't have to go live at Unity Village. She said, but I still have to go and try out there. I don't know why, but I still have to go and try out for that program. I'm called to do it. Well, a couple of years ago, she went and she tried out. Now, she did get in. Now, she couldn't go to her daughter graduated high school, which would be 2013. But at that tryout, she met a man who was now her husband. He will graduate in 2013. She will graduate from FLP in 2013. The dots were all connected. So he's living at the village right now, but it's like I have to go over there for this, even though I thought it was for this. Have you seen that happen in your life?
Oh, yeah.
You thought you were going here. That's why goals are to get us on the journey, not to get the goal necessarily. So let's eliminate negative thinking. Let's eliminate negative thinking now and realize spiritually it's all connected. God's will for us is to be happy, joyous, and free. Decide today to align yourself with God's will. Because really, would God's will not be done? No matter what your conditions today, decide they are just temporary conditions based on temporary thoughts. And go within and ask Spirit for a real thought. Ask for a genuine thought about money. Ask for a genuine thought about your body. Ask for a real thought about health and wealth and well-being. Ask for real thoughts about your neighbors. Ask for real thoughts. Because you don't want to limit yourself with the temporary thoughts. Ask, because you're asking yourself, you're asking your highest mind within you for real thoughts about everything. So that you would never again be convinced that anything is wrong. That you would never again try to convince your friends that something is wrong. And you would never again be convinced by your friends, your spouse, your doctor, your banker, your economist, your accountant, whatever, that something is wrong. No, it's just that we've been misaligned here, and now we wish to get into alignment. As Myrtle Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, said, owing to a lack of understanding of the health laws, neither of us was as healthy as we ought to have been. So owing to a lack of understanding of the wealth laws, many of us are not as wealthy as we ought to be. Owing to a lack of understanding of the harmony laws, many of us are not as living as harmoniously as we ought to, as is available to us. There is not one good thing that you want to experience that isn't available to you this instant. Decide now, you are the master and not the slave, and all the dots are connected to experience everything that is good, everything that is whole, and everything that is true. Think on these things. Thank you.